Welcome, villains, to episode 107 of The Rules of Villainy. I'm your host, Villain Vince, joined as always by the favorite villain, Villain Andy, because Brad isn't here to defend himself. We don't have the mayor, but we do have Villainous Kirsten joining us. How are we doing tonight?
Tired.
Yeah,
Had
it's also real hot, very hot.
Oh my!
Like,
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I'm like traumatized.
I mean, I kind of do want to talk about it because I'm going to be honest with you. I was like, can we just record this tomorrow? I'm dead from the heat mate. I'm so done. But I was like, no, we should get it done. We should get it out of the way so we're not procrastinating. Because it's GenCon week.
We're gonna.
Yeah, I already procrastinated one of my adult chores this weekend because I was supposed to cut the grass, and no, just solid pass on that, because if I did, I wouldn't be going to GenCon because I'd just be dead.
Oh,
so
banished.
But I would be banished. So instead, I spent my time organizing all of our cards. I'm officially done.
Oh.
Hooray!
Well, I guess the Rules of Villainy official card sorter is out of a job then.
Yeah.
Yes. So now I need an official Rules of Villainy person to go through the bulk cards that I have and then list them on TCG Player for me.
Send them over to our affiliate, Derp TCG. Which is actually a really great segue. If you need cards and you're looking for them, you know where you can go find them, Andy? Do you know where?
Yeah, partner.tcgplayer.com/ROV.
I got a question.
Villainy.
I got a question for you, Andy. Does it cost them anything to use that code?
It only costs you the price of the cards you were going to buy. No additional fees are added, and in fact, it gives us a little bit of money.
Yeah, so that's why they would do it, right? Because they support us. That's why they would use it.
Yeah.
That's great.
We've got like one of those old timey slot machine, just the top half with the jackpot, and every time you guys use the code, it like makes a bunch of noise and like fills up. And then when we get to the jackpot, we actually don't know. We haven't gotten there yet, so we'll see.
No.
We're off to a really great start with a tangent at the intro.
There are a couple, iconic Mickey and Minnies available in TCG Player. So if you, use your code and happen to want to grab one of those,
fulfill those dreams,
we won't stop you.
Hey.
Anyway.
All right. Well, let's get into some news. So we're going to talk about a little bit in the main segment, but we are going to GenCon again. We talked about that last week. But more excitingly, the Rules of Villainy competitive team is joining the ICL. What does the ICL stand for, Andy?
It is the Illumineers Championship League. Champions League?
Right.
Championship League.
Champions League. Yep.
Champions League.
Yes.
Man, I just called ICL so much that it's one of those ones, what does MLB stand for, actually? Like, what does the F and F1 stand for? Who knows?
I was going to say, I'm super glad you didn't ask me what that stood for. I'd be like, great question.
No, see, the great part about this is sometimes, just let folks know behind the scenes is when you're a host and you don't actually have it all written out for you. You can just be like, well, I don't know. I'm not going to be the one to say it. So I'll pass it off to my co-host and be like, hey, tell the fans what this means.
Save it for the next guy.
But yeah, so we're really excited. That starts this week. It probably will already have started by the time you're hearing this podcast. But we won't be on it until next week. So you still got plenty of time. You can watch their we're not a featured match this first round, but you never know. We could be one of the matches. Some of these matches go by pretty quick.
And we will also look to try and record and get a copy of the recording of all of these matches. We had a player meeting today with Luke, at this point a while ago, but the production level they have over at ICL is just like chef's kiss. They've got so much stuff together. But we're going to probably put together maybe some recordings of these videos, maybe get some of the players on, chit chat with them, ask them how things went, especially some of these non-feature matches that you guys don't get to see live and commentated. So
think that might be the idea, but we'll see. We'll see more. But you should absolutely go check it out. You should a lot of great teams. So I know you're really excited. You should be absolutely rooting for the rules of Villainy because we're gonna take it down. But there's a lot of great teams. It's a very, very cool that we're doing that. And then the next thing up here is the Black Cauldron Cup, which is something that we're partnering with Impact Gaming Center in October. So we're doing this. If I have the dates correct here, I believe it is the 10th, 11th, and 12th. But maybe I have my calendar wrong. But it is that second weekend, I believe, in October. And we're going to have a 6K Lorcana weekend. So a 5K main event and then a 1K buyback in tournament. But, hey, you don't have to compete in the main tournament, do the second tournament. You can always just do that. And there's going to be a lot of other things we're hoping to put together too. And we'll talk about that more. There's going to be a link in the description for that. They've been on our past few videos. It is not live yet to go to register. And tickets will go on sale. I want to say about 60 days out. So that should be about August 9th or 10th. Tickets should go on sale and we'll have a link for that. But please book that on your calendar. You can't go to any other event. There's only one event on your calendar, and it's the Black Cauldron Cup. It's super exciting. It's a great, awesome space. Honestly, it's so cool. It's probably one of the coolest game stores that I've been to, and we're so lucky that they're in our area and that they've helped us put this together for this event. And you'll see Andy and I in the streaming booth with some other guest casters. So pretty exciting. Andy, anything you want to add?
You went to the DLC Melbourne this year, Vince, and that was in the Marvel superheroes, Spider-Man, Captain America, Avengers stadium, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Did they have did they use the big screen? Did they put the stream up on the big screen in the stadium?
Oh, in the state? No. They had
Right.
So the way it was actually set
Jeez.
up, this is like our tangents, is imagine like a football stadium, here in the
Right.
United States, right? And they're like luxury kind of suites and stuff. And this is basically kind of a big giant like luxury suite like area where people would go and congregate, like a common area though for it. So not just like a box suite, but like the common area for all of that and stuff. So yeah, it was very very, very fancy.
So then my point is though that I think Impact might be like the largest screen competitive Lorcana is cast on. It's certainly like one of, if not the largest screen in a viewing area. The venue. So I just wanted to point that out when you were talking about
until we talked to Christopher Nolan and he puts it on 70mm IMAX. So
we're actually getting we're in works of getting some film 75 film cameras so we can live stream in
I mean, it'll be a little delayed because they got to process the film and stuff. But I mean, that's to our benefit, though, right? Anyway.
But yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Vince said 3 days, so there's like an early check-in day on Friday. They have hotel blocks. There's multiple hotels there, so if you have like points or rewards with a certain one, chances are there's one like within walking distance. There's like 5. It's crazy. This is a really, really popular area right outside of St. Louis in like a suburb. We'll also have like hotel blocks. They're doing on-demand events.
I don't want to get too deep into the side events and stuff. But we're gonna probably be doing side events, but I don't want to. Some of those details.
Yeah, we don't know the details on them, but there will be.
Haven't all been put out.
Brad has. I'm just reading off what Brad said. Okay, Brad said there will be side events. All right.
Yeah.
So there'll have to be at least some sort of side event, Vince. Even if the side event is who can draw Vince from memory.
There will be like speed puzzling because we've got Julie on board. are the ROV archivists. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Maybe that'll be a side event. Who knows? We'll see. Lots of things to discuss. The important thing is 5K main event. That's the thing. Also, it is core constructed. It'll be just a few weeks before Hyperia City is released, so the meta here should hopefully be fully well developed. So you have a lot of time to practice because it'll be after set chance and anticipation of Hyperia City, and it's really great too. And so hopefully, it's a really great store and it's a really great venue, and I think we're gonna put on a really great event that I hope for. Yeah. So
hope to see you there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get to main segment here. We've got first we're going to talk about GenCon. We are going to talk about the meta. So for those listeners who are all just like, I want to know about meta, we got you covered. Just be patient. We're going to talk about for the next. I'm just kidding, not the next hour, but we are going to talk a little bit about what we're excited for GenCon. So Kirsten, why don't you tell us what are you excited about?
Product. I want to help with packies.
So I got a question for you. Are you going to stand in line in the morning to try to get another Fable Trove?
Maybe. I don't.
What do you?
So, okay. I don't actually need a Fable Trove. I mean, we've all seen the photos of me. Like, here's my empty boxes. Here's my empty troves. I bought a lot of Fabled. So I don't really need anything. And we've got a lot of Enchanteds from that set. And obviously both of the Iconics. So, like, I don't know. We would just honestly be probably fishing for the Winnie the Pooh Enchanted, the Honey Wizard. But I just like opening product. And I'm probably not going to stand in line because I'm probably going to be doing some sort of puzzling at the time that they do that launch. Because it's probably going to be Saturday or Sunday. And I will be doing both days in the morning puzzling with Julie and team. So Andy will probably be standing in line.
Yeah, I'm considering it. Fabled is.
I'm not gonna be sad if we don't get it. Like I'm not like it's whatever. I open enough Fabled. I honestly want to just open more Attack of the Vine. So.
Yeah. One thing I'm super excited for is the new super secret multiplayer mode that Disney Lorcana's been working on. By the time you are hearing this, they will have already announced all of the details on it, I believe. It's supposed to be released in the 28th. So let's all act surprised like we know what it's about. And then tell us in the comments your thoughts about it. Let's start a discussion in there, what you guys think about it, because we signed up for one of those on Friday evening at like 8 o'clock, Friday night at like 8 to test that out. So that's
I'm in the same one.
Kind of fun. You are? Nice.
Yeah. I literally did it right before I got on this call because I was like, oh, I should probably do that before they all like sell out. I will just say, if you are going to Gen Con and an event is sold out, this is one thing I wish I knew the first year I went to Gen Con. So I'm just going to tell you is you could always go to the ticket booths and get generic tickets. So when you get your, tickets and stuff, you can also get generic tickets. They do them in $2 increments. And you can just go to an event that you want and be like, hey, is there space in this event? And just pay in generic tickets what the cost of that event would be. And a lot of times this works. Now, it's not going to work every time. Some events are truly full, but a lot of things that you want to try to do, you can absolutely do this. So if there's an event that you're like, I really want to do, but it says it's sold out online, go. If you don't have anything else to do that time, and that's an event you really want to go get those generic tickets, go there and be like, hey, can I join in on this?
It goes further. The meta goes further than that, though, Vince, because the really good events have a line that queues up for the like extras line. I've seen that where people will, it's not usually like a huge line, but 2 or 3 people. So if you do want to go to an event, make sure your slot is free, and then go to that event maybe 15-20 minutes early. Go scout it out and see if you can hang out and get first dibs on that extra spot if there is one.
I did that a lot last year with the quest events that they put on and stuff. Because honestly, I was tired of going back to the main booth to get the ticket for the event. So I was like, I'll just get a whole bunch of generics and stand in line. And I always got in, so it's no big deal. I have to say, I really hope they do that again. I know it's not in their like thing for events and stuff, and I know they've been transitioning a lot of that onto the booths. They do that like at the DLCs where they have a little quest thing. But one thing I really liked about the quest event at GenCon is because it was like scheduled and you were in the room together, you opened all the packs together. It was a heck of a lot more collaborative. Like I met a lot of people there, people that I still like run into at DLCs, and I'm like, oh, hey, it's you, and stuff. And it's like, you don't get that with the way it's run at the DLC because everybody's just trying to like quickly fill out their stuff and then, get the promo card that they want for it and stuff. I mean, you and I
all
did
the
that.
cards are just sitting on the table and you just have to go through them. Like
easier to staff that though, right? So
yeah, it is.
I did see an article somewhere about Ravensburger at GenCon this year, and they basically said Ravensburger is again like a premier partner or whatever, top level partner, and it said something to the effect of like expanded exhibit space, right? So to me that meant that they were going to have at least slightly more than they had last year, which the little, in the vendor area hall, the Ravensburger booth, comparatively to some of the others was not that big, right? Some of the other exhibitors had humongous spaces, lounges.
On the map, I couldn't confirm because I couldn't find my thing from last year, but the one that Julie posted in our Discord, I was like, oh, their booth looks bigger this year than it did last year. So I'm a little curious to see what that means. Of course, I could be misremembering that because one thing to keep in mind last year, if you remember, is that it was only like that first portion of their booth, like they had like that corner was for retail, and then on the back side of that booth, they actually were doing demos of the villainous card game. What I don't even remember what that
or whatever.
What's
villain,
that? Yeah,
Villainous
the
Unstoppable
or something. It's like the
that's right.
I think it's supposed to be like a more compartmentalized, expedited villainous as opposed to the more expansive one. Simplified. That's probably a better term. We're like Kirsten said, we're doing a ton of like sealed event. I think we're doing one single non-limited event, right?
Yep.
It's a core constructed.
Well, now two, I guess, because the multiplayers, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's hard to call that limited
deck
or not because we don't know what kind of deck we're going to need to bring. They're going to tell us
That's
again
true.
on Tuesday.
Oh, shoot.
Actually, we'll know by the time this video is out. So here's what we're going to do. We're all just going to say like a deck that we're playing, and then we'll just say like 3 or 4, and I'll just cut in the one. No,
all right. So Ruby Steel. No, I'm just kidding.
We're doing one core because I think Captain Jimmy and some other teammates, Vince, I don't know if you
there
were
was
doing
nothing
it.
else to
There were some
do.
other Gen Con friends that were doing that one, and there was not much else to do. It was like, like Arcasia's sealed at that time. We were like, no thanks. But bunch of the sealed, the 3 set sealed seems kind of cool. You do any of those, Vince?
I'm doing a 3 set sealed. I'm doing a booster draft of the first chapter because God knows I need more first chapter. That was sarcasm too for those that I don't need any more first chapter, but I'm still doing it anyway. I'm doing the Fabled sealed.
I didn't get that.
Attack of the Vine sealed. Core constructed. Doing the 3 years the celebration event at 10 a.m.
Honey Wizard.
Yeah, and then bonus sealed. I've got an infinity event, which I think I'm almost certainly going to drop. It's
Ooh,
probably the one event that I'm like,
brother.
"Ooh."
I knew we weren't gonna do any of those. I was like, absolutely not.
I think I just was like really ambitious about the things I really wanted to do, and I was like, sure, maybe I'll do infinity. But the more I've played infinity, the more it is not. I one thing I actually want to separate here. I want to separate is I don't mind infinity as a fun format. I really don't. I think like to play it with your friends or whatever and stuff for low stakes, whatever, fine. I don't love it as a competitive format. That is what I'll say. And so
It's
I
fair.
know Ravensburger likes to say that like these events are not really competitive, but there are like pretty significant pricing on the line. And I think that rate can raise the stakes of competitiveness amongst some people.
Absolutely.
And so I was just like, I'm not going to have fun playing Infinity at Gen Con. It'll just make me sad, is what it'll do. So I'm choosing to not be
Yeah.
sad.
We're like, I think to just even further illustrate what you're saying there, Vince, we're doing one of the starter deck core chaos. So it says core chaos. So I assume that means a core constructed starter deck? But then when you think about it, how many
There aren't
starter decks
many of those.
are there even in core constructed? Because we haven't gotten starter decks for a while. We got the 2-player like battle deck thing, but I don't think they're ripping those open and handing them out half and half, but because they don't have a pack in them. But Kirsten and I did this last year. The starter deck core chaos, at least last year, was any starter deck from the first chapter up to, I guess, Fabled was out at the time. Was it Fabled or
No, it was Reign of
Reign of
Jafar.
Jafar?
It was
No,
Reign
Reign
of
of Jafar.
Jafar.
Fable hadn't
Okay.
come out yet.
Okay, so and you get a random starter deck from one of those sets and the booster pack inside it. And did they give you 2 booster packs, I want to say?
Something like that. I don't
2 booster
remember.
packs from the latest set or something, and then you just like built a deck out of those. I think you had to keep your 2 colors though too, which meant that like you really only got like 5 or 6 cards out of the couple packs you got, but those were fun, but it's hard to say that those are like competitive, right? Like obviously I'm playing the game, I'm going to be competitive, I want to try and win, but we're playing with like silly cards here, right? We're playing with the starter decks, we're playing with the beginner characters in this game. Like we're all experienced players. It's a fun thing. So it is kind of weird though, because you're right, that playmat is really important and like valuable, and so like I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Just thinking
catch-22.
about it, I am kind of curious about how they're going to do that, because they did starter decks for Fabled, they did starter decks for Whispers in the Well, but then they did not do starter decks for any other subsequent set. And then in conjunction with Wilds Unknown, they released the
2-player set,
starter deck thing.
but there's
that
no
you're
packs
talking
in
about.
there.
There are no packs. It is 2 ready to play 60 cards each. Lore trackers, lore book. I mean, it's really meant for you to go to a big
1v1.
box store or an LGS store, and you don't know how to play Lorcana. You pick this up, you go home, and you play this with your spouse, friend, child, whatever. It is a starter kit
Mm-hmm.
to get into the game, and they don't have
Yep.
packs.
We
And
should
then-
get one of those and keep it with us, and then when we find 2 people, like 2 of our friends or relatives or whatever that haven't played Lorcana, we can give it to them and then film them playing Lorcana for the first time and make content.
That'd be
And
really great.
Laugh.
I'll be honest. It's I don't think Lorcana is a very hard game to teach, but I found that like when the gateway product and stuff, I was like, oh, this will be great. I'll teach my friends that know that I do this. how to play the game. And either I'm just a really bad teacher, or like they just did not like the leap to go from, a game like, Scrabble or Monopoly to going to like a trading card game can actually be, I think, pretty challenging for some folks. But when you're at a place like Gen Con, I think people are more open to the idea because they're gamer. People that go to Gen Con are gamers. They might be D&D folks, but they're interested in other things as well.
Some of those board games are more complicated than Lorcana. Are you kidding me? Sheesh.
100%. 100%. So yeah, I'm excited. We're going to talk more about it. I think hopefully we'll have like Jimmy on as well, because Jimmy, our captain, is going to Gen Con as well. So this is your second year going, right? Is that right? Second year going. And this will be my fourth year going. And I think it was maybe the third year Jimmy's gone too. I don't know. I didn't know Jimmy the year before because I was pre-Lorcana. So honestly, we should start putting like, the calendars. We have, AC and BC and stuff. We should actually have AL and BL.
Before Lorcana and after Lorcana.
After Lorcana, yep.
Yeah.
So we're in the after Lorcana timeline.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shall we get into some decks here?
Sure.
I think we should start off with the your deck here, Kirsten.
Mine? Okay.
Where'd it go? Where'd the? Oh,
It's the one that says, yeah.
I see it. I see it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. We are queuing up that deck list here, but Kirsten, you've been playing this. You're a longtime Amber Steel Song player, and when you heard that Steel Song was back, were you ecstatic?
Well, I mean, it never left. It kind of came. Look, it was back last set too. It's fine. Like it's a thing. It exists.
So you were playing
in
it
the
last set
world.
then? Is that what's going on? You were playing Steel Song last set and the set before?
Well, anyway.
Okay,
so...
right.
Wait,
No,
but didn't you play Ember Steel though at the DLC?
That was Infinity.
That was Infinity.
Oh,
though.
always Infinity.
But yeah, I did.
Okay.
I am a long-time Steel Song enjoyer.
That is true.
No, I really enjoy Steel Song. I like the way it plays. I like the variety of them all. I mean, I think maybe not last set because it was Infinity, so we really didn't do a whole lot of core, but like Winter Spell. That's what I was playing was Steel Song. That's what I took to like through the decades, the 5K there. But yeah, I saw Garrick actually post this list on Twitter, and I was like, "Ooh, that looks like a lot of fun." So, I really like the new Maylin Lee. She's kind of just a better aerial. So I really like the addition of her. Being able to find another red panda. I mean, you're only going to find her, so you won't ever find another red panda, but just that like ability to, if you whiff, grab something and not come away empty-handed is super nice. The other thing that I really like about this deck that I've been enjoying is the Angel plus the Look What You've Done. I really like that combo. I think it's super cool. Being able to basically still pay 2 ink to do 4 damage at that point, as long as you have the Angel out on board. Obviously, you can't do that the turn that you play Angel because you don't have any more ink left. But if you like pair that with like an Akut or something, you can get a lot of value out of that one little card.
Yeah, one thing I disliked about Angel, and still kind of do, but like everyone's like, oh well, every card in your hand becomes a Fire the Cannons, right? Like Yeah, but most of the cards in my deck are better than Fire the Cannons, I would hope, right? Like, that's the goal of my deck building, is to build a deck with better cards that I don't really want to throw away. But the more, and I think I said this before, that like these, when there are cards that benefit from being discarded in some way, we've seen where like Tramp and Bobby, when we were playing dogs, we didn't care that we discarded the Lilo because it's good there. It's good in the discard.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll see it with the Horn King this set. We've seen it with Circle of Life. That's actually, I think, a deck we may talk about here in a little bit, where it's beneficial to put some things in your discard. The more of that, the more valuable Angel is. And like these cards that say, when you've discarded me, you can play me, allows you, that I think is a really strong, like it makes Angel good value. I do wish
I
it was
also
for
think
free.
they
but,
didn't. Yeah, I was just honestly, it's funny you just say that because that is the one thing I think they've done pretty well here. A little bit
yeah.
is in the balance of this is it could have been play these things for free from your discard, and I think that would make a lot of these cards way more powerful, and in some cases potentially broken. It kind of makes me wonder, actually, if in testing they did try to test it to see, like, maybe you don't pay all the costs, maybe you do pay them for free or whatever. And then I think, once you kind of realize that you're going through that from the development perspective, you see. But yeah, you can see with this, look what you've done. You deal 2 damage to chosen character, and during your turn, when you discard this card, you may play it for free. So using Kirsten's example, you use this card for
You don't play
Angel's
it for free.
ability.
You pay all costs.
You
Yeah,
have
you
to
pay
pay
all
for the
costs.
card.
Sorry, during your
Yeah.
turn, when you discard this, you may pay it from your discard. You pay all costs. You use it, you discard it from Angel, then you play it again. So you do need to have the ink to do it. So that is the cost, right? So
Yeah.
really,
It,
really interesting.
I do think it's cool, or I think, again, another fail-safe they've put in here, or balancing measure, is during your turn, right? Imagine if, against Prince John and Diablo, right? They make you discard a card and you're like, don't mind if I do, and you discard this, and then you pay
At
2
least
and
you
you
have
get rid of their
ink left
Diablo.
over, though.
Well,
uh
now that would, I think, if
It
this was
changes
not
the
right,
game.
if this was not during your turn, I think this would be one of the, would be the first times we see leaving ink available to be able to do something on your opponent's turn.
Yeah.
That, that's something that does exist, but it's out. It's cards like Hercules, Return of Hercules. Both players carry a character. A Mufasa that flips a character or something like that. Chernabog, play a character from your discard. So there are a few instances where these things are needed, but yeah, I think we will eventually get to potentially cards like that. But I think the game development team does a really, really good job of balancing things.
Well, I mean, that once you start doing that, you really do get into the, I think, design space of instance, which is
Yeah,
what Magic
essentially.
has.
It,
And I think, I'll be honest, I early on in the game of Lorcana, I thought for sure that was something that would never come to Lorcana. I think it is something that is going to come to Lorcana at some point, because I think it's a design space that is kind of ripe for development a little bit. And I think it's why you have my reason for why I say that is because of how they do word these things very intentionally by saying during your turn, you pay all costs, making sure that it is clear to the players, what the rules are, and updating the comprehensive rules document to clarify these things and stuff, is because, I think they're just leaving that door open to future designing space. I like that we don't have it now because I think that adds a whole more complicated layer to the game and stuff. But I've warmed up to the idea, and the reason why I'll say I've warmed up to the idea is maybe a deck we'll talk about here in a little bit, but are decks that you just really can't interact with otherwise, right? Your opponent is taking a 20-minute turn, right? And it's like I'm just gonna sit here and watch you play, I guess. And instance can help break that a little bit.
I think there's two different things: interaction or actions on your opponent's turn, and instance. Instance to me has not necessarily as much to do with your whose turn it is, but that to me breaks the bag rule. So I don't know that like an instant in Magic is something that you can play in reaction to something. Like I play a goat and I'm going to gain 1 lore, but this I'm able to say stop. I'm playing a card in response to that. Your goat never even gets played. I think that breaks the bag a little bit. I do think we will start seeing things like more decisions you get to make on your opponent's turn, but I also don't know that you'll ever be able to initiate any of those decisions. I think it'll be potentially like when your opponent does something, you get a chance to do something in response, but it will still be an item in your bag, which will be resolved after theirs. And I think we are starting to see that a little bit with that. What's that purple card that we just got? The
vine thing. So you have to pay
Source of the Vine. Yeah, whenever you quest, you pay 1. And so that's basically like saying, whenever your opponent quests, you get a trigger in your bag that when you resolve, it says opponent must pay 1, right? Or you get a lore, which is, I think we will eventually see those, but those are much, much more powerful, and it makes all of the abilities that they can do more powerful. And so I think Vince is right. They're going to slow roll this a little bit, but by being so specific in the rule, the definition of the wording. Yeah.
Question here I have for you, Kirsten, is so I've been playing a variant of this deck, not with the look what you've done. Have you thought or about Ohana at all in this deck? Because one thing that I have found, and I'm curious if you found a little bit, is that you can at sometimes just run out of gas in this deck. Like you can run out of cards to play.
Yeah. The problem with Ohana is it is better suited for more like an Amber Sapphire deck because those bodies are bigger and can retain more damage. Like the most you're ever gonna get is 4 cards. Nothing is higher than 4, and even then you only have 2 characters that can handle 4 damage. So, and it's what a 4 what
3 cost.
4 cost song?
3 cost
3
action. 3 cost action.
Oh, it's it's not even a song.
Yeah,
okay,
I know. That's what really makes it challenging.
No. Nope. If it was a song, I would consider it, but the fact that it's not even a song, you're just going to make your card draw even worse because you're going to lower your ability to hit on Maylin Lee, and you're going to lower your ability to hit on Ariel because if you top deck the Ohana versus top decking a song with an Ariel on board and a boosted card under her, not great.
Yeah.
And especially these days when some of the characters that you're going up against to challenge and get that damage, you're probably going to banish yourself before you can actually retain the amount of damage to get the value of the cards needed for Ohana. Yeah. I don't think I would do Ohana.
You need to play something like Mayor Wind Dancer. Play something like
Mayor Wind Dancer. At that point, you're not playing
well, it's just a different style, right? Like this one is leaning heavily into the Lilo Stitch shift line, just like others would lean into the Queen shift line or the Robin Hood shift line to just try and get a big annoying character out on the board that can do anything that your deck wants to do. It can sing, it can challenge, it can quest. well, in this case, it doesn't challenge, it supports, but yeah, same concept. And so the other options might be to do something like, more challenge heavy, so you have that option, like a Mayor Wind Dancer, like you could even do Lilo and Stitch still and just swap out like the Lilo, Lilo 2-cost Lilo for like the 3-cost Stitch, or the 2-cost Stitch. It's like a 3-2, gets the challenger, extra challenger. But the core, the core is that aerial draw engine. But I kind of agree. It does seem like it runs out of gas, right? Because your draw engine is, the only one that actually draws you multiple cards is a character, which is the easiest thing to remove and deal with, especially a 3/4 character. I mean, that gets thunderbolted. That gets,
Yeah, well, you get conditional draw off the big Stitch, the snowboarder Stitch.
right.
And so there's that. The reason why I asked this is because I'm curious about, honestly, the look card, is because the other variant doesn't run that. It runs Look at This Family, which is a
That's a good one.
song. It's a 7 cost to look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You may reveal up to 2 character cards and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. And so you get more consistent, like, I think going back to Kirsten's point, you get more consistent hits with Mainland Lee. And so I recognize, I think, like, you probably can't have the look and the Ohana, but I'm wondering, like, could you maybe take out,
Yeah, that could
maybe
work.
could you put in, like,
I mean, like, if you're going to go that route, you just take out Angel and the look, what you've done, and just find something that's more suitable to, like,
that's
the
a good point,
traditional
actually.
steel song, because, like, those go hand in hand together. The only reason why look what you've done is even in the deck is for Angel specifically. It's just Angel food, basically. It's kind of like the Lilos are your automatic discard. That's your automatic discard with Angel. And it's really nice into, like, those lower to the ground decks, like the toys decks. A lot of those characters are often only two willpower. And I mean, obviously there's other decks and characters that kind of run lower willpower characters, but, like, obviously in some matchups it's just like kind of automatic ink. Like, I can't Angel, and that card's not going to do me a whole lot of good in certain matchups. So I don't. It's not the main function of the deck.
I think you actually need to put more into the Angel, because I agree, Angel is not good without that other card. The reason Angel was good before, besides having the Lilo, was also Dock existed. So you were dumping your hand because you needed to dump your hand in order to draw the maximum amount of cards off Dock. I wonder if replacing something like the snowboarder Stitch with something like Goliath or Goliath, and having another reason for you to ditch cards from your hand with Angel to be able to then maximize and draw off the Goliath. And I don't know. I mean, it costs more than the snowboarder Stitch, but
I mean, not by much.
it's
It'd probably be
it's a bit more of a
efficient 'cause it's
consistent draw engine,
Yeah.
right? The snowboarder has to exert, the Goliath doesn't, right? It can just sit there. Plus, it pressures your opponent. You can also
that's the other
lean
great side.
into Horizon. Is Beyond the Horizon still? That's still in.
Nope.
It's not in
Gone.
rotation.
No.
What?
8. Set 8.
What?
I
Gosh, ran into
know. It's
farming.
not,
It's gone.
that's gone.
Goodbye.
Look, I
The
just
only
want to
other
say,
card
if
draw
you're
that I
playing
could do
against
is I
me,
could put in the You Broke My Smolder, but that's an action.
yeah,
It only costs 1 though.
right. I mean,
It's unkable though.
that's another option. I think that's going even further into the Angel sort of line. I think at that point, then maybe you want to start exploring a little lower to the ground. I think even if you changed nothing, there's also the consideration of swapping Lilo and Stitch for the 1-cost Lilo that quests for 2 if you have a Stitch.
Oh yeah.
And the 2-cost
I've seen a lot of
3/2
those
Stitch.
online.
or some combination of them to be able to go faster. But I do understand the support is nice for something like World's Greatest Criminal Mind and the Gaston, although you do only have 4 between the 2 of those cards.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of ways you can go with Amber Steel,
Yeah.
I think, that are
I-
very, very powerful.
I will say I think this deck is actually very good. I mean, I think there's an argument this might be one of the best decks in the format so far. But its downside, I think, is the card draw. The second one that I find a little bit, and it's why I like decks, why I'm uncertain about playing this, like for my play style, I should say, is I really love the Gaston and the World's Greatest Criminal Mind, but when you're playing decks that are low to the ground, these cards feel utterly useless
Support.
because
Support.
That's
You get
the
the
whole point.
Lilo. Both Lilos have support.
both Lilos have support. Yeah,
So
you're
that's
right.
yeah,
Sorry,
you're
That's
no,
all.
I mean,
That's like one of the names of the
yeah,
game.
I guess that's
like,
the
oh,
point.
you
Is
think
like,
you're safe?
But you're
yeah, I
no,
guess
Just
you're,
the point
you're
is
absolutely
like,
right though, Vince. Is that you have I play Amber Ruby. I have Red Alert 3 or less, and Criminal Mind 5 or more, and those jerks on the other side of the table play a 4 strength character, and I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do with you?
ice block it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think that's not even
Nope,
in
that's
the.
gone.
That's
Just
gone.
a Ruby Amber. No,
And
you
it's
have
also the wrong freaking color too.
Amber would have
Um,
minus Mickey. That's what I was thinking of. Mickey, Amber,
Yeah.
Mickey,
yeah.
and there's others that minus strength, right?
There
Hello.
are some that minus
Stella,
strength. Yeah.
not Rhino. He's gone.
Anyway.
I mean, the strategy here, right, is to cheat out big characters early in quests with things like the Lilo and Stitch, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
and then just play
that's the
and then
end
just play like a
goal.
mid-range game, and then
Yeah.
just be able to sing all of your songs. And you're absolutely right. The problem is you need a draw engine, and your current draw engine only draws you 1 card per song per turn, and a couple of your cards replace themselves, and one of your cards replaces itself the next turn if it survives, and then maybe another card if it survives.
Yeah.
So,
In fairness, I'm glad that neither of you said Ohana was good, because A, I only have one of those, and B, the card is like $30.
like,
So save my bank. Thank you.
speaking of $30 cards, did you see Circle of Life is $30 as well?
Should we go to that deck?
We should. Let's go to that
Yeah.
deck. I'll bring it
Go to
up
the
here.
next deck.
Uh,
Also, if anybody needs Circle of Life cards, I have about 20.
Yeah. So this deck is one. Have either of you played this Amber Emerald Circle of Life deck? So I have
No.
not either.
I think I played against it maybe once or twice.
Okay. Yeah, I know Chip was testing it a little bit, and we've done some testing and things, but the deck just points to how amazing Amber and Emerald is. That color combination has a million decks this set. Basically you're just cheating out characters and playing all of the good character cheating ones like Aurora, Grandmother Willow, Akud. You're playing all the green. I'm surprised you're not playing Strike a Good Match, actually, but you're playing Todd, the Strike a Good Match with a body. You have the Ariel to be drawing cards. Eleanor, again, I think it just plays all good cards up to like 4 cost here, and then it plays a bunch of big dudes. You got the Surfer Stitch, the Milo Thatch, and the Prince Philip. So you can Malicious, Mean, and Scary into Circle of Life, into a Prince Philip to wipe their board. It feels like a lot. The problem is that because it's such a huge jump that you're making with this Circle of Life into something huge, that it can just be so much tempo that I think your opponent kind of loses. But for me, it seems like an awful lot of setup for I don't know. You got to get the cards into the discard. You can do that with Rapunzel. You can do that with Todd. That's really it. Milo later on. So you don't have this. Why does this deck not have Strike a Good Match? So if you're playing this deck, maybe consider Strike a Good Match in your testing. Like we said, none of us have really played this. I do like the Lenny though, because if you think about it, the Lenny can sing Malicious, Mean, and Scary, ready itself, and then sing Circle of Life with another set of characters because of its ability.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's pretty nifty.
I mean, this is really just a kind of a classic like tempo deck, right? I mean, and you're also just being able to cheat out characters because you've got the princess's abilities to be able to reduce the cost of playing other cards. You've got your angels, so that we always talk about these turn, the play draw disparities. Well, don't have that really because you can now play on your turn one. You've got your tree, which, I mean, Andy, I've got to give you credit here. Pains me to do so. But we talked about banning Tramp in the last set. And, turns out tree is also a real problem for cheating out stuff too. I don't think a Cood is actually that bad because, I mean, I think there are some, I mean, it is singable, but you do it once and you replaces itself. It's fine. The fact that you get that ability for Grandma Willow each turn is a real problem, especially if you can get multiple copies on the board.
Angel Akud is better than turn 2 ramp though, because Angel Akud is turn 2 4-cost character, which you were turn 3 4-cost charactering in Sapphire decks, right? So it is one more card needed, but that is a pretty nasty jump in tempo.
Yeah, and then you've got the Malin Lee to basically guarantee. Well, I don't know, guarantee actually. There are how many songs are there in there? You've got the
quite a bit.
What is that? You've got Circle of Life, Under the Sea,
5.
MMS,
18 songs.
Akud. Oh yeah, so you're almost certainly. I don't know what the geometric math is on that, but I think
it's 18 songs plus 3 other Malin Lees, so 21. In theory, there's about 21 in the targets that you're looking for, minus whatever's in your hand and all that stuff.
Pretty good opportunity. You're going to hit something and pull it out. And you basically you kind of like. I don't know. The only thing I'm just uncertain about here, I guess, really, it really does depend on the Circle of Life, right? Is the MMS and Philip combo.
Well, I think Stitch, Milo, and Prince Philip are never meant to be played without Circle of Life. I think it's very unlikely, especially given that we're not in a meta where your opponent is inking for you. And so
pour one out for Blurple, baby.
Yeah, Hades exists, but who's playing him?
So does Let It Go and
it's fair.
Spooky Sight. I mean, if someone's brave enough, right?
That's fair.
I mean, I do think there is an argument people might be sleeping on Sapphire Steel.
For me, what I need to know is if I were to take Stitch, Milo, Prince Philip, Circle of Life, and Malicious, Mean, and Scary, if I were to take all of those cards out of this deck, does the rest of the deck work on its own? Because if I think it kind of needs to, because that's your combo that you're trying to hit, but I think you need to be able to have a reasonable game plan otherwise. And it kind of feels like this is almost the same as these Amber, Emerald, leftover dogs decks, right? The Under the Sea dogs, where now we just play toys and we play just all these good low cost characters. We play Eleanor, and then we also play Lost in the Woods and then Under the Sea. Lost in the Woods is
in the Woods.
I think it's a 4-cost Amber song.
Pretty sure it's gone.
All characters get minus.
I think it's gone.
Are you sure about that? Lost in the Woods. This is set 9. It was reprinted in Fabled.
Oh,
All
okay, it
opposing
was
characters
reprinted.
get -2 until the start of your next turn. So you could play something like that, or Della's and Under the Sea still. And the only difference is you don't have that massive like draw and then that filtering engine of Tramp. But yeah, this is an interesting deck. We'll have to see how well this combo plays out. If you are playing a deck similar to this, let us know. Share the list in the Discord. Let us know in the comments what we're missing. Maybe there's like a play line that is just like we haven't seen, and it's like, oh, if you do that, that's just impossible to beat. I don't know, but
All right. Let's talk about toys. We didn't get to this last week. This was a deck that Chip was going to talk about. This is the Dylan Brown Toys top 4 at Van CCQ. And I think I know people are really starting to build this after Wilds Unknown came out because it's the first time we got the toys classification with all the characters from Toy Story, and we got more toys in Attack of the Vine. I'm curious, what do we think? What do we make of this? Andy, you're our kind of resident Amber Ruby player, and I mean this isn't boosties. Though.
Brad would be mad if he heard you say that, bro. He would be He's fuming right now listening.
Well, you're a boosties player, not a toys player.
Yeah, Brad plays this deck, I think. Although I played against this deck 2 times in a row at set champs last set. I did really, really bad. I won one of the matches and I lost the other match, but this deck just like has this massive influx of good to above good toys cards that all get better and better and better the more toys you're playing. So like Woody, great card, especially when you have a lot of 2 cost or less, which a lot of the toys are. Rex, good card. I mean, we played a 0/3 uninkable bodyguard in blue, right? Because it gained you lore on banishment. 3/1, I think, is even better. Ham, that's a Louis, right? It's a Louis or Huey, or whichever one it was. Hand in the box, wind up frog. I mean, they say play this for free in the name, so like we don't even need to talk about that. The new Woody. What?
Yeah, well, there are 2. There's
Yeah.
the town sheriff and helping a friend. So the town sheriff allows you to
Yeah. That one's
choose
good.
an opposing character, and so they can't challenge and must quest if able, which is super great when you're trying to face a board where somebody doesn't want to challenge, and now you can now choose to make favorable trades. And then you've got the helping a friend, which I think this ability, just to add to your point about this deck, just gets better if you play more toys, because when you play this character, choose one of the following. If you have another toy character in play, choose both instead, and both of them are you may return a character card with cost 2 or less from your discard to your hand. You may play a character with cost 2 less or for free. So honestly, just like
basically says play from your discard for free.
Yeah, exactly.
When you combine them together.
Yeah, you get these honestly, what's so wild about this deck is just how much you can deal with your opponent's board, and then they can just turn around and basically vomit up a whole bunch of more characters right back onto the board. And you're like, did I even do anything last turn? I'm like, what happened, dude?
Yep. So it's like, and then Jesse basically says, quest draw a card. When you play a card, give -1 till the start of your next turn. The 4 cost Woody 3/4 basically says draw a card off. Look at the top 4, draw a card. Baby Head said, I mean, it does say whenever one of your other characters is banished, draw a card. But the other ability is that basically every time you play a card, you're giving something +2. Sid is the only like non-toy character that you have So be our guest, always drawing a card. You've got a friend in me, draw 2 cards. Basically, 3-cost song, draw 2 cards that you, and again, you're getting to pick these by filtering.
Right. But Sid gives you that extra lore because of the toy. It has the
Sid's
toy
like the
synergy
finisher.
still.
Yeah,
It's like it's just so crazy. Kirsten, what are your thoughts?
I like it. I don't. It's probably not my like thing. I mean, I would try it. Probably wouldn't play it. The one thing that I don't really know if it fits is the Horseman Strikes. Do people still play evasives in decks?
Dumbo still
I mean, I'm sure
exists.
that they exist, but it's not like
Mushu,
it's
Dumbo.
sure not like it was before, where it was Elsa and Genie and Dumbo and this and that and this and that. Like, I feel like there's far less evasive characters in a meta these days, so I would almost just like, I don't know, find another toy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If we look, Mushu, Dumbo, Prince Philip, those are the most popular. Violet
Isn't there a new Genie too?
There is. He hasn't seen as much play, but
yeah.
Isn't it just like a vanilla like
these are
3/3
4-cost
thing?
3/3 quest for 2, yeah.
Isn't there like a big Frozone too? That's evasive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is it playable?
Is it playable? Yeah, that's another good question too. But
yes, it was from last set. I know what you're talking about.
Gaten, Moliere, Sven, Jebediah still exists. Violet. The new Dash might be a potential reason to play it. Pocahontas and Miko. Oh, you know what? We're missing. It's not even in here in this list that I'm looking at. We're missing the probably prime target for that, Peter Pan and Tinkerbell, because if they turn
Are
their
people playing
entire
that?
well, Ruby Amethyst can definitely be, and I think you're right, though. I think ultimately you're right that this Horseman Strikes could be exchanged for potentially more World's Greatest Criminal Minds. Maybe add an additional Bouncing Ducky or that 4-cost Woody. They only have 2 of because it's uninkable, but I do really like it. Babyhead, they also only have 2 of, it looks like, because it's uninkable. You could probably get away with, removing some or all of those if you aren't worried about evasives. I've asked the same kind of question, Kirsten, is what evasives are we worried about in this meta? But the moment you take them out of your deck, the moment they play Peter Pan and Tinkerbell and their whole board is evasive.
Sure, I mean, like, at that point, put it back in your deck, or you just scoop and cry. But, like, I don't know, like, until I start seeing more evasives in the meta, I don't think I'm going for 3 of those Horseman Strikes.
Yeah, I think I have my Ruby Amber boosties down to 2.
I mean, I think that it's a good question, and I think actually it's a good segue for us to talk about Ruby Amethyst, because that is also not a deck we didn't get to last week. I don't think this has been actually super popular in the meta, but we do have a few. I mean, so speaking of evasives, we have that Peter Pan and Tinkerbell, which was our villain of the week last week. We've got the Miss Incredible, which is kind of a conditional evasive, and then we've got Dumbo. And is there any other evasives? Are those the only ones?
Well, everything Mrs. Incredible can be, but everything is evasive.
Well, yeah, she's conditional. Right. Yeah, I mean, yes.
This list, so. What a toolbox, mate! What a interesting set of cards. A lot of unique cards in here, and I think this goes to Chip talked about it a little bit last week. I think we've talked about it before as well. The meta is very early. A deck like this, when no one knows what they're doing and you don't know what they're doing, you kind of can, you kind of just have to build a deck where it's just like, well, maybe I just get like a whole slew of cards here in case I come across anything. And then, I mean, sometimes at the end of the meta, you have to do that as well if the meta is wide enough. But a lot of 1, 2s, and 3 ofs here. But this Peter Pan is interesting. It's one I really liked in Limited. I think it works really well. as a shift target for the Peter Pan Tinkerbell. It's the 2-cost 1/3. When you play this character,
Yeah.
chosen opposing character can't ready at the start of their next turn.
It's a good way to stall the board out a little bit for
Yeah.
another turn.
One
Yeah,
that
and then
I'm
they've got
not sure about is the Morgana Macaweber. Is it just stats, right? Like, because they also have 2 of the Lyle Tiberius. I'd be curious to know, Daba Wookie, it looks like it's the person whose deck this is, that we grabbed this list from. I'd be curious to know what they were targeting with the 2 3-cost 4/4 Lyles versus the 2 3-cost 5/3 Morgana Macaweber. It doesn't change much in the Amber Steel list that we saw earlier, right? Like, you can't, neither of them clear Lilo. I guess the Morgana can clear like a Stitch, but I'd be curious to see the like whiteboard notes that they took of all of the characters that each of those could clear, and then decide on which ones were more meta relevant.
Yeah, it's really interesting because you would think you would want here like a bigger butt in some ways, especially because you're playing something like Cheshire Cat. So you'd want
Yep.
something that could hold more damage. Whereas, like, I don't know why. I guess what I'd be. I mean, they do have quite a bit of uninkables. There are 12 in this deck, which is a lot. Um, uh, but I think I would probably like for something in this slot. You're thinking you're just gonna like trade into it. Why wouldn't you play something like Sven instead?
Yeah, Sven's at a 4-cost though, right?
That's
He's a
true. It is a
4-cost,
little bit more expensive.
but
Um,
yeah, I definitely agree with you. A bigger butt is better, I think, in this situation. Cheshire, but they also have the Lumpy. This Lumpy,
right.
from the newest set, which is kind of a replay. I don't know why you wouldn't put the Bell here. Now that I'm thinking about it, but it's the same cost as the Bell. Bell is a 5-cost 4/4 quest for 2, moves 3 damage. Lumpy is a 5-cost 3/6 that moves 2
And
damage.
it's only a one of you. Why wouldn't? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Why
it's
wouldn't
one more
you?
stat. It is one more stat though. Lumpy has 9 total stats versus the 8 that, you know, what's her name has, Bell.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, it's interesting.
You know, plenty of card draw. I like the addition of Red Alert here. I mean, I think
Yep.
that's something people should expect is going to be in staple in all Sapphire decks. I'm not sure how
King,
I feel about
huge.
the Petrify, especially when they've already got the Isis. I mean, that is basically just a
They did a 3-1 split.
yeah.
I think I think 12 uninkables is not a ton, but the reason I don't like Isis is because 4-cost uninkable is rough, and they already have the Hercules as well. So I wonder if maybe they went a 3-1 splits. The Petrify is a little easier to get rid of from your hand if it's, it doesn't brick your hand as bad because it's cheaper. But the Bee King I think is really nice. Board wipes in general, I think the stocks on them have gone up. Raging Storm stocks have skyrocketed, right? Before, because Lilo was so prominent in the meta, playing a Raging Storm without immediately also playing another character or having rush characters meant that you weren't able, it didn't matter. All the Lilos survived essentially. So
Yep.
being able to, board wipe now means that something like Bee King is really nice because decks that board wipe have a lot of ink, and those decks like to play one big old character the next turn.
Kirsten, thoughts here? You played
No,
some RA last set, didn't you?
I did. I did. It was okay. I was playing it mostly because I was combating dogs. It was for the most part almost entirely different. Obviously a few of the same pieces, but I don't know. I would have to change some things to want to play that one. Like
Yeah.
I would need to find a different synergy. It feels very all over the place to me. I don't like a lot of like 2s and 1s. I'm not as good as Kristen. Not a jack of all trades.
Toolbox.
Pull it out of my hat. I don't have a toolbox.
Yeah. And I would imagine also to some extent I'll defend Dabo Wookie here. A lot of times I do start with a deck that is much wider in in the amount of cards and things like that. And eventually you kind of narrow it down, right? They're playing 2 of these Lyles, 2 of these Morgana Macawebers. You play 10, 20, 30 games with your teammates, at your locals. Eventually you say, okay, well, Morgana, I don't like Morgana, I want more Lyle, right?
Sure.
And you narrow it down to some of these 1 Tinkerbell, 3 Peter Pan, the 2 Mr. Incredible. Like the 1 drops to me scream that they're like, I don't quite know what I want to do with these, so I'm going to put a bunch in here, and whichever ones work the best will stay in the deck, and the rest will get kicked out. And they'll end up with 2 sets of 4s, 2 4-ofs or something maybe.
I mean, but I think that just speaks to the style of decks that you both like to play. Which, I mean, in fairness, I'm in that same way. I like a much more consistent deck that I know what to expect and what my outs are. But I think when you look at decks like Kristen, or we like to call her the Rules of Villainy Frank Kirsten, because Frank Kirsten also really likes these toolbox style decks. And so there is an argument to be said that, yeah, I do agree with you. This does seem like a deck that you're really trying to like tech for a bunch of things. You don't know 100% what works, but this all seems to kind of like gear towards a lot of things. Like they're putting a lot of things to be able to help shift these things out later in the game. So they're not like out of place, but maybe they're not the best cards in it. But you could also just as very well be like, you know what, actually, like maybe I want a 1 of X card in here, right? And I don't know what that is particularly, because honestly, I'm sure like maybe some of our listeners will know. It's confusing to know exactly 100% what's rotated out of the format. I just trust what I've put in my binders behind me as my key of what is legal in core right now. But really making sure, because like we lost, the genie, the draw genie. We lost Elsa, which I think is a huge card out of this. That was really important. And I mean, yes, we got Isis, but I think a 5/2/5 evasive that exerts is significantly better than a 4 uninkable Isis that exerts but just sits there, doesn't have rush or anything like that. So I mean, I think, I don't know. I will say this: it feels like Ravensburger just has over the past few sets, the designers have not loved Ruby Amethyst as much as they loved it early on in the game.
It's true. That is true.
All right. Any last thoughts on our main segment?
No, I just want to give a shout out, and I just want to say out there to all of you that are maybe feeling alone or ostracized by some of the Illumineers at your local leagues. Kevin Control is real, and you can play that deck, and no one can tell you otherwise. Okay, I experienced at my local league. I was playing the Kevin Control deck. I had other locals standing over my shoulder, filming me with their cameras while berating me for playing such a ridiculous deck. It was just the audacity of some people at locals. But you can play that deck. It's real. You're allowed to. No one can stop you. Call a lore guide if they harass you. Thank you. That is my Kevin Control.
That's your PSA for everyone.
Yeah. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Thank you for coming to my Kevin Talk.
Yes, Kirsten.
That deck was miserable to play against.
I was going to say, you can play it, but just be warned, you will be the most hated person in your LG.
I don't understand. Vince is over here like, oh, your opponent like does a bunch of stuff on their turn. Yeah, well, maybe you should do more on your turn. Like, it's not my fault that you draw a card and you play a card and you don't have anything else to do for your turn because your characters are lame. All right, like I get to do stuff on my turn and I won't be bullied because of that. All right, I play quickly, deliberately. I play well within a fair play limit, bounds. Okay. Comprehensive rules section 2.6.3 states that as long as I'm making a play action during my turn, I made that up. I don't actually know the rules. Please don't come after me, Googly. But I'm just saying, if you don't like me doing a lot of things on my turn, maybe you should, I don't know, win faster, do more things on your turn.
I'm just
Sounds
gonna
like a you
say
problem,
I
Nate.
think this is why they should require license to buy podcast microphones.
That's fine. That's fine.
All
I'm
right.
kidding. All right,
And
let's
it's
move on
time
to
for
constituents
constituents
corner. All right, we have one question here, and it's from Kristen the Great. Does Mike Wazowski blink or wink?
So I think instead of us answering it, we should turn this the other way, and it's a constituents corner for the viewers, and they have to tell us.
Where can they
That's
tell
fair.
us?
Or wink
In the comments
in the
below.
comments, everywhere.
Does Mike
Anywhere.
Wazowski blink or wink? I mean, we could still give our answer.
I kind of like leaving it to the viewers. Totally. What do you say?
Yeah,
We leave it to the viewers?
Tune in
We'll
next
find out.
week.
Yeah. We'll find out next week
We'll
what
tell
you
next week
think.
yeah, and then we'll tell you what's also correct, though. There is a correct answer. I'm just letting you know. There is a correct answer. So, but please tell us in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you want your question answered, please let us know. You can comment down on this video or anywhere we're at, or join our Discord where there are Illumineers like you that can join the rules of villainy discussion groups here that we have, and you can ask your question in the constituents corner chat, and we will get to your question absolutely at some point. And with that, let's get to your favorite segment, but certainly my favorite segment, which is Villain of the Week. All right. Apologies to Gantu. We have a 5 cost, Inkable, Lilo and Stitch, fun-loving friends. This is a dual ink card. It is a 3 strength, 5 willpower, storyborn team, hero, alien, shift 3, resist +1. Resist is real. Support, and a quest for 3. And the art for the regular version here is by Serena Wade, which is still gorgeous. And then the iconic art is by Brett Owens.
Even more gorgeous.
Absolutely. I mean, they're gorgeous in their own ways. Kirsten, tell us about this card. Why is this a villain? Why do I hear that this is a villain?
It was like the third thing you said about the card. Shift 3. I'm sorry, what? Class for 3, shift 3. Support? I mean, brother, I love it. It's amazing.
So if we compare it to
And then I mean, it's got resist too, or like if you compare it to like, hamster, power hamster, because I was a previous
shift 2,
early shift line for Amber Steel, or I'm just saying it was an early shift line for Amber Steel. It had resist 2 when it had no damage, but that's all it did. It hit for 4, 3 strength or 3 willpower, but this is pretty nice. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I think the biggest direct comparison here is to like Robin Hood. We talked about it a little earlier. While there are definitely
Champion of Sherwood.
Yes, Champion of Sherwood. Yeah. While there are definitely pros and cons to there's some things that are like apples to oranges, obviously. But like the draw versus and the lore gain versus the resist and support and things like that. I do think that just like doubling the shift targets that you have essentially for this uh the shift target, this character, as well as giving it the additional lore pip and the additional willpower, which baseline is one additional lore power when challenging and doing a single source of damage, but every additional source is an additional willpower there. So like resist is a 3-5 resist 1 is probably better than a 3-6 in
Mhm.
most, if not all, scenarios. So I love drawing a card. That's the only one that I'm a little disappointed we don't have from like your Robin Hood that I would like really question, is this actually worth it? But extra lore pip, extra willpower, extra shift targets, support I think is better than gaining that 2 lore, because you're
Yeah.
gaining the 3 lore. You know, the Robin Hood said like, if you challenge with me, that's fine. You don't have to quest. I'll give you the same amount of lore. This Lilo is saying, you quest with me, and I'm still going to give you even more on top of that to let your
Yeah.
other characters challenge, right? So, it is definitely a step up, in my opinion, from the Robin Hood package. We even see that like the shift targets for Lilo and Stitch are better than Robin Hood. Robin Hood was always just the 1 cost 2/2. In fact, we still have Robin Hood. He's still in rotation.
Yep.
Champion of Sherwood's still in rotation, but the 1 cost is not a playable card. It's not. It doesn't exist. So the 2 cost uninkable 1/3, you're kind of like meh. We have seen Sapphire Steel. Sorry, gotta give a shout out to all my Sapphire Steel players watching from underneath the bridge that they're currently living under. Keep up the dream. But there is a 1 cost 1/3 Sapphire Robin Hood that they can now shift onto. So hey,
Dreams alive. Maybe.
And what is this? We're
And-
losing subscribers as we speak.
Hey, if you're a
Gen
Sapphire
Pro,
Steel player and
please.
you're subscribed, I don't want you anyway. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa,
I'm
whoa.
joking.
I want you.
All
I
right.
want you here.
Anyway.
Vince wants you. The Sapphire Steel is the resist colors. All right, Vince.
We're gonna
is
wrap this up before we get canceled.
Vince is a closet Sapphire Steel enjoyer.
But I mean, in most decks, though, I feel like, and I mean, Kirsten, I think you're the most experienced playing this deck thus far here, is it does seem like you're really not using that support necessarily for your own characters, but for your opponent's characters, so that you can use things like Gaston and World's Greatest Criminal Mind. What does that look like in practice? Are you seeing that, or are you?
Yeah,
shifting
I
it
mean,
on your-
it
Are
really
you
that
using-
that's the great thing about it. It can go either way because, like, if I have a Lilo and Stitch out on board, and I've got like a Ursula singer, 2 cost 1/4 singer, and I don't have that song, but Ursula is available to quest, and whatever I'm taking out is like a 3/4 or a 2/4 or something, like that's really valuable to be able to just swing one of my smaller, insignificant characters that I don't particularly care about. One drop, the 1-drop Stitch, if I just have that, the 2 cost Angel, any of those cards later in the game are so far less valuable to me that I don't mind sacrificing them, because it's going to be a better trade for me to be able to quest for 3 and support something to take out a bigger character of theirs with one of my little guys. So that's part of why it's a villain of the week, right? It's got that flexibility.
Support
Like,
plan.
yes, you can pair it up with a Criminal Mind, or you can pair it up with a Gaston and easily take out something on the other side, but you can also just like beef up something of your own and swing it in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you let us know what you think of this card. Is it a villain thus far, so early in the meta? I guess time will tell. But I will talk a little bit about these artists here. So Serena Wade has 6 unique cards in the game. One of them is an epic. Brett Owens, who did the iconic, that is his only card in the game of
Beautiful
Warcon.
card, though.
That's a
so
good one to go out on.
Kind of knocked it out of the park right there with that
Heck
one
yeah.
card. So pretty great. Yeah.
If he
so
stops,
pretty awesome.
he stops making cards for Disney Lorcana, he can say that 100% of his cards in Disney Lorcana have been
Or
iconic.
iconic. Yeah.
No, we want you back, Brett. This is really good
Yeah,
art.
yeah. No, this is really great.
oh,
Come back, please. Absolutely. Well, we hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you're joining us on audio, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
And if you're joining us on YouTube, which if you're not, you really should. We have a ton of fun over here. If you haven't noticed, we're doing like graphic things now. There's like cards and deck lists on the screen. You can watch them and read them as we go along. So be sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell. Deck Test Tuesday, Meta Report, pack openings, live streams. It's too much to name.
And we understand your time is valuable, so we appreciate you spending some of it with us. If you'd like to follow along with our plot, as we plot our devious plans, you can find us on all of the socials at Roll to Villainy. We also have a growing community on Discord in which you can join the link below and show us your pet.
Where are you at,
Yes.
Kirsten?
Oh, yeah, I'm also on all of the socials at ROV Kirsten, unless it's Instagram, which is ROV_Kirsten.
Until next week, stay safe, fellow villains. Be wary of wannabe heroes who want to disrupt your villainous plans. And as always, remember the rules of villainy.